My sister's wedding invitation came with a shocking condition I had to decline. When I opened my sister's wedding invitation, I couldn't believe what I was reading. It wasn't just an invite, it was basically a contract. The wedding was in Italy, and every guest had to pay $3,000 for a mandatory experience package. But that wasn't even the worst part. Buried in the fine print was an NDA. Guests couldn't post anything online, discuss wedding costs, or mention any issues. Violation meant legal action. I called my sister asking if this was a joke. She said her fiancé was protecting his brand, and it was just a precaution. When I refused to sign, family members started dropping out left and right. My uncle called it the most entitled thing he'd ever seen. The family group chat exploded. Then my sister's fiancé sent me a guilt trip essay about how I was abandoning family over a piece of paper. My mom begged me to reconsider for Jane's sake. She said it was just one day and I should suck it up, but I stood my ground. More people backed out. My cousins, my aunts, even some of his groomsmen who couldn't afford the custom designer suits they had to buy themselves for $800 each. The groom started having public meltdowns. He posted cryptic messages on social media about being betrayed by the people closest to him and how fake people show their true colors. Then vendors started canceling due to payment issues. The florist, the caterer, even the venue was threatening to pull out because his family kept missing payment deadlines and making excuses. His parents were furious about all the money they'd already spent on deposits. They were drowning in cancellation fees and threatening to sue vendors who backed out of their contracts. My sister tried calling me in tears multiple times, begging me to change my mind. She said everything was falling apart and Evan was blaming her family for sabotaging their special day. She even offered to pay for my entire trip herself just to get me there. But the NDA was still non-negotiable according to him. That's when I realized this wasn't just about a wedding anymore. This was about control. He was testing how much he could manipulate not just my sister, but our entire family. The breaking point came when he started privately messaging relatives, telling them Jane was weak and pathetic for listening to her family instead of supporting her future husband like a real wife should. Someone leaked screenshots of his messages to the family group chat. The things he said about my sister were absolutely vicious. He called her spineless and said he was only marrying her because she was easy to control. When Jane saw what he'd been saying behind her back, something finally clicked. She saw what everyone else had been seeing all along: the manipulation, the isolation tactics, the financial control. He gave her an ultimatum that same night: choose him over her toxic family or they're done. He said real wives put their husbands first, not their meddling relatives. Instead of caving like he expected, she chose herself. She called off the wedding and moved back home that very night, leaving him scrambling to explain to his remaining guests. Evan lost his mind on social media, posting rants about ungrateful people and how he'd wasted years on someone who didn't deserve him or his generosity. But here's the kicker. 3 months later, he announced his engagement to someone else. A girl he'd been texting during their entire relationship, someone Jane had actually been suspicious about. Turns out he'd been emotionally cheating the whole time. All that drama about protecting their love and demanding loyalty was just projection and deflection from his own betrayal. My sister dodged the biggest bullet of her life. She's in therapy now, rebuilding her confidence and reconnecting with old friends he'd made her distance herself from over the years. The best part? His new relationship imploded within 6 months. Apparently, she saw through his controlling behavior much faster than Jane did and called him out immediately on his manipulation tactics. Now Jane's happier than ever, dating someone who actually respects her boundaries and treats her like an equal partner. Sometimes the best wedding gift you can give someone is helping them realize they shouldn't be getting married at all. Family comes first, and real love doesn't come with NDAs.